Hello and welcome to another video and the hard launch of my new hair. I did indeed get a long bob. This was originally supposed to be a little bit more red and not so dark, but we're going to wait and see what happens when it starts to kind of fade, because it always does once it starts to fade on its own, and then see from there if I want to add more red. But I'm digging it. I'm really liking it. It's just a weight off my shoulder. Hello. We are starting another reading vlog. I was gonna do, and I think I said this last time, I was gonna do like a getting up at 5 a.m. to read every day type of vlog, but then I remembered my father-in-law is coming to town like tonight and staying with us until Friday, so for like 4 days, and he's gonna be sleeping on the couch, so I don't want to be like waking him up and or like trying to be quiet with my camera at like 5 a.m. you know what I mean? So I think we're just gonna do like a mood reading vlog. I did this morning start Wildcard by Elsie Silver, and I'm already obsessed. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Elsie puts in her books, but it is just so good. Like, I just am flying through. I've already read 100 pages, and I've only read a little bit this morning, and then a little bit tonight, and yeah, we're already 100 pages in. So Wildcard is the last book of the Rose Hill series, which is kind of sad to me. I didn't love the first one, Wild Love. Like, that one was probably my least favorite, but I still liked it. And then I loved Wild Eyes, and I really liked Wild Side. I think Wild Eyes is my favorite so far, but I don't know. This one's already shaping up to feel like it could end up being my favorite. I'm literally obsessed. Like, I don't know. The only other book I can think of that was Ex-Boyfriend's Dad, or kind of like taboo like that, was Penelope Douglas's Birthday Girl, and I did enjoy that, but I think the way that Elsie's doing it is just so good. Like, the tension, the way she has set the scene already is just, it's so good. The tension is palpable. They both clearly want each other, but are both, well, she's not really. He's very much kind of like, this is inappropriate, I shouldn't be doing this, even though the age gap is only like, what, 12 years? Because when they met, she was 27 and he was 39. Is that 12 years? Yeah. Math, guys, I don't know. Anyway, 12 years difference, that to me is like not that bad, but it is awkward with him, or with her being, it is awkward with him being her ex-boyfriend's dad. And he just found out that they did break up, but like, the tension is so good. The chemistry between them two is so good, and I cannot wait to see them actually get together. And another really like fun component of this book, I don't even know if I'd say like fun, but heartwarming, is Clyde. I don't know if you've read this series, if you know who Clyde is. He's like this grumpy older man. I think he is on the bowling team. So like Wes put together the bowling team that all the guys are on, and he gets Reese involved, and Ford, Bash, and then Clyde as well. And Clyde is kind of like this crazy older guy who has all of these conspiracy theories, and I don't know, I just love him because he's also, so he has like that conspiracy theory crazy guy side to him, but then he also is just so warm grandpa-esque, and he's just so kind. He would never admit it, but like, he's so kind. And I just love like him coming into the yoga studio and requesting private yoga lessons from Gwen is so heartwarming. And then, I don't know, just the scenes with the yoga and Clyde are, I'm obsessed. And then something just happened, I'm not gonna give anything away, but something just happened with, they found something out. It's just so heartwarming, and I love Clyde so much. It's been like a little extra happy thing that has been added into this that's just making the storyline even better. And I think that's something that Elsie always does really, really well, is like her found family and the heartwarming side characters. I love it. And we also know that this being ex-boyfriend's dad and age gap and Elsie, that it's gonna get spicy. So can't wait to see that come to fruition. Big fan, loving this. So yeah, hopefully I will get to read some more tonight. My father-in-law should probably be rolling in like a few hours. So I do have a few hours to read before he gets here. And then I don't know how often I'll be able to do updates, because he will be here and like will be probably doing things and like leaving the house. So we'll see. But I did want to start another reading vlog because I am enjoying this immensely. So that's the update, the hair update, all the things, and I'm gonna go read. I finished Wildcard. I literally finished this like 2 minutes ago maybe. I don't know if you can tell, but I cried at the ending. Not even just the ending, but like the whole like last 20% was so heartfelt. There's something that happens that again has to do with Clyde, and it just made me just feel so much for like him and their relationship that they've developed, and I loved that dynamic so much. Yeah, needless to say, this is a 5-star book for me, and this is now my new favorite of this series, the Rose Hill series. Now, this one's the first one favorite, and then Wild Eyes is my second favorite. But yeah, this was amazing. I think the tension between these two, because of the trope that we're dealing with, was unmatched. It was so hot. Oh my god. I loved Bash. Just seeing like his more vulnerable side and seeing the way that he and Gwen interact was so sweet, and they were both exactly what the other needed. Did not really like Trip at all throughout this. If you know, you know. I think his character arc was good as well. And yeah, I just love the entire found family. We got a little bit, towards the end, we got a little bit of a cameo from Bo Eaton. And that also made me like tear up, because I'm like, another end of an Elsie Silver era. It's just, I'm sad to see this series go. I'm gonna miss these characters, but I'm really excited for her next book. That's gonna be starting an all new series. I think it's called like the Emerald Lake series or something like that. I don't know, that's what my Kindle said. And we're gonna be getting Emmett's story. So we get a little bit of Emmett in this book, which I had a feeling. I can always tell when a random character pops up and you start getting like details about their life that like obviously that's gonna be our next main character. But yeah, I'm excited for that. 5 stars. This is incredible. The romance, I don't even know, romance books don't usually have like a plot, but I feel like all the things going on I was very interested in. All the side relationships, like I said. Clyde just has my heart. Like, and also this one was so funny. Like, there were so many hilarious moments, and all of Elsie's books are sprinkled with humor. This one specifically was like, yeah, this is my kind of humor. Not to mention a lot of the things that like Gwen was going through, and just a lot of the things and the internal struggles that some of these characters deal with. I just felt they were like so relatable. So I just really deeply connected to this book specifically and these characters. I love that this book is purple, and now upon reading the story, I know why it's purple. It makes total sense and just kind of ties everything together perfectly. But yeah, Miss Elsie Silver has done it again. I'm obsessed. Also, at one point I was like sweating over the whole like Trip thing, and just, it was so realistically done. Elsie did this so well with the whole like ex-boyfriend's dad thing, and the whole, I don't know, it was awkward, and I was like sweating over it, but it was also, I think, again, well done, pretty realistic. None of the characters, you know, were perfect, but the communication between these characters got better over time. And yeah, what more can I say? I loved it. 10 out of 10 would recommend this series, but especially this one. Oh, I loved Sebastian so much. I loved all the scenes we got. The plane scene, that's what I was like reacting to in that one clip. Anyway, yeah, these are spicy. These are very spicy, but they're like kind of slow burns. Midway slow burns, you know what I mean? Anyway, that is the first book of this vlog done. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next. I have no idea what I'm in the mood for, so you will find out once I find out.
Why not?
coming at you live from my couch with reading updates. I'm sitting here because, hopefully you can see me, this pillow keeps getting in the way. Hold on, let me just move it. I have cramps and a headache. So we are laying on the couch watching Vampire Diaries. Obviously I paused it for the reading updates, but I did indeed, as you saw, start reading If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. And for one, this cover is like the most stunning fall cover I've ever seen. And also the construction of this book is like so perfectly floppy. Like, you know, that just amazing floppiness? Yeah, this book has it. And my AC is turning on again. I can never do this without the AC turning on, guys. Anyway, I am loving this. I am on chapter 7, so I'm about 100 pages in. So, you know, just not that far, just setting the scene. I love already just like the feeling and the vibes of this book. It's very, very, very much giving like 90s kid nostalgia. It feels like a warm hug. It feels kind of like Gilmore Girls and just so cozy, so fall. And I've heard that this is a slow burn, which I love. And I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it. It's reminding me, different things in this are reminding me of my childhood. This book follows Cliff and Michelle, which I love that name because I have an Aunt Michelle. Anyway, Michelle and Cliff. And Michelle, after losing her mom, has to go to Vermont to take over the family's like bed and breakfast, and the neighbor of that bed and breakfast is Cliff. And Cliff is a single dad raising 2 girls. He's very kind of like easygoing, easy to smile, a lot of charm. And then Michelle is she's from the city, so she's like very, I don't know, kind of cold. She comes off kind of cold, kind of closed off. She's not really used to like the niceties of a small town, like people just stopping in to check on you and invite you over and that kind of a thing. And so you can tell that she's taken a bit to warm up. It's gonna definitely take her a while, but I'm excited to see like once she finally starts to get closer to Cliff. Her running the bed and breakfast again is really just reminding me of Gilmore Girls. So yeah, I'm really loving this. I think this is going to be the perfect fall read, and I'm just obsessed with this cover and all things 90s. And I've also been listening to a lot of like Fleetwood Mac, Sheryl Crow, all of that. So just absolutely perfect vibes. But yeah, I am hungry. I'm gonna go. I made zuppa toscana last night, homemade, while my father-in-law was here, and it was really good. He told me it was actually better than Olive Garden's, so that's high praise. So I'm gonna go have some of that, and then I don't know how much I'm gonna read, because like I said, I have bad cramps and my head hurts, and I just don't know. We'll see. Hopefully you could hear all of that with the AC going. I hope. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I'll let you know when I have more updates on this. I've been so bad at updating this vlog because I have read a lot of this book today. I think I'm on, I don't know, page like 400 something, 421. So I have, I don't know, like 70-ish pages to go. Yeah, no, I love this book so much. It's so cozy. Sorry. Whenever I hold my camera like this, my arm hurts. This book is so cozy. It really, really feels like Gilmore Girls. Like even some of the, you know, descriptions of the places and main characters like together, the way they interact together, even some of the outfits that Michelle like wears, some of the things that Cliff says and does really reminds me of Luke and Lorelai. Yeah. In Gilmore Girls, like it's very them coded. And I love that. I love the nostalgic vibes, like I mentioned before, of just like the 90s and fall. I will say it is a bit long. in my opinion, for a romance book. This is like almost 500 pages, and then there's also like a bonus chapter, which makes it, we're just gonna say it's basically 500 pages. And I don't know, that seems a little bit much for just like a contemporary romance, although this one is a slow burn, so I guess it kind of makes sense to have it be longer, because otherwise you wouldn't have enough character development, you wouldn't have enough romance development and build up. Like some part of it would have probably had to be rushed. But I don't know, I feel like I prefer my romance books to be like under 400 pages, just because like once they get together, which they have at this point, I just get a little bored because like the tension is broken, and I don't know, I still really love the vibes of it. I'm just finding myself being like, okay, let's wrap it up. Let's get it done, because we are still at the point where we're gonna have probably not like a third act breakup per se, but you know, something's gonna, I'm assuming, happen, because right now they're kind of like happy, and we all know at that point that means something is coming that's going to try to keep them apart, or there's going to be some type of argument or something they need to work through, right? So we're at that point, we're getting to that point. It's like Christmas time and the ex-wife is there, so there's like drama from that. I will say I really do just love like the small town vibes of this. Again, if you've ever watched Gilmore Girls, there's just like a bunch of wacky characters in that, just like spread throughout the town. They just are very heartwarming, right? And it's just a very tight-knit community, and that's the exact same way that this town functions. This book is literally Gilmore Girls. Like, that's what it feels like. Again, loving it. I don't know yet exactly what I'm going to end up rating it. I don't know if it can be a 5 stars with it being just a little bit too long for my enjoyment, but we will see. I don't know. I'm thinking I'll probably be able to finish this tonight, but I might not do an update tonight, so we'll see. I'll see you when I see it. I swear I do sometimes move from this spot, but I fear this morning is not the time. Oh my god, it's so bright out. Hold on, let me move you closer. My plant is getting out of control. Oh, I'm not even centered. Oh well, I think that's probably about as good as it's gonna get. I did want to get on here because I did finish If It Makes You Happy last night right before bed. I had like, I think last time I talked to you, I had like 70 pages or so left, and I indeed finished it right before bed. This was so good. This was so cozy. It felt like the warmest hug. Felt like, again, I'm just gonna keep saying this, but Gilmore Girls, like this was the book version of Gilmore Girls. So if you like Gilmore Girls, you have to watch this. If you're a 90s, watch this. I'll read this. If you're a 90s baby, I highly suggest reading this. If you like cozy fall books, I suggest reading this. Yeah, I ended up landing on a 4.5 star rating just because, like I mentioned before, it is just a little too long in my opinion for a romance book. It's like almost 500 pages. So I do think there might have been a little bit that could have been cut down. However, I did really, really enjoy this. I loved seeing them get together. I had a couple like annoyances towards the end with certain characters and how they were like acting, and mostly just like how the two main characters were dancing around their feelings and just really denying it. And that's like bound to happen in so many romances, but it does, as the reader, sometimes get frustrating because you know how it's gonna end. You know they're gonna end up together, but they're just being stupid. So there's that. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved this. Being a 90s baby myself, like the nostalgia and the feeling and just like the vibes of this book were so good. It just had me thinking about all the different 90s things that I miss. This was amazing. Also, like I said, the absolute floppiest book. Highly recommend. This was amazing. Now, I did spend a little bit of time this morning thinking about what I might want to pick up next, having no idea what I'm actually in the mood for. I was like looking at my TBR cart and I was like, ooh, what if I maybe tried to start the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association? Because this is also a cozy book, fairly short. Like I said, I did want to do a buddy read with my friend, so I might text her and see if she does still want to do this. If not, that's okay too. I might just try and like read like a couple pages and see if this really is what I'm in the mood for first, because if not, we'll switch gears. But yeah, that's the plan for this morning. I'm gonna drink my coffee, I'm gonna read a few pages of this, and the next time you see me, I will hopefully have updates for you. So that's it. It's now the next day and I'm finally back with reading updates. So let's start with what I picked up first. I did yesterday briefly pick up the Grimoire Grammar School PTA, and I literally only read the prologue in one chapter. I got 24 pages in and then I stopped because I texted my friend Kayla and she said she's just finishing up the book that she's reading right now, and then she is going to pick this one up most likely. So I kind of want to savor this one and like read it alongside her. So I just got like the briefest introduction to this book, and so far again, I don't have a lot of thoughts because I don't have much to go off of, but it seems like it's going to be cozy and fun. I like the school setting. It almost reminds me of, because there's so many different creatures and like magical beings that you can be in this world, it's kind of reminding me a little bit of like Zodiac Academy / like the show Wednesday, where there's sirens and shifters and all of these different things in a school setting. I don't know yet. That's what I'm getting so far. So that's that update. Don't have much. And then I didn't really read at all again yesterday until like 10 p.m. Like not until I even got in bed. I started Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. Now this one has been intimidating me ever since I bought it because she is massive, like 700 something pages. Really big book with like really just like a lot of words on the page, you know? So even though 700 is not the biggest book I've ever read, I think it would probably be more like, if it was like a normal height book, it'd probably be more like almost 1,000 pages. So yeah, it's a commitment, but there's just something calling me to this book because I really can't figure out what the heck it's about just based on the description. It says like August 1955, Miss Darcy O'Sullivan, an orphaned English teacher from Boston, receives a letter that her biological father passed away. She's surprised to find herself included in his will. There's one condition: she must travel to Fairytale to attend his funeral. The promise of a sizable inheritance, Darcy decides to journey to the small coastal town that holds the secrets of her birth. But the moment she sets foot in Fairytale, things start to go amiss. Odd residents, odd rumors, odd deaths. Everything about Fairytale is odd, including broody Caleb Hale, part of the infamous Hale family. Basically, we've met Caleb at this point. How many pages am I in now? I read this morning too. I read last night before bed, and then I read this morning as well, and I'm now already 140 pages in. So if that tells you anything, I basically cannot put this down, even though I don't know how to feel about it yet. I'm like 20% in, according to my Kindle. I don't know how to feel about this because I still don't really understand what genre this is. It's kind of got like a historical setting, and you can tell there's weird magical things that are going to be a part of this, but it's also kind of like eerie and horror. And I have heard when people talk about like the genre of this book, I've heard it described as like dark fantasy horror. And I don't ever read horror, so I'm like, I don't know if this is for me, because I was reading this in bed last night at like 10 p.m. You know, it's dark. Creepy things are happening. This girl is like staying in this creepy castle looking manor, which she's never been to before, by herself. She's like seeing things, like silhouettes of people in the dark, and then she's hearing things, and I'm like, oh no, this is like my worst nightmare. And I do not do well. Like, I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch crime documentaries. Like, every once in a while, I will watch them like with my husband, but like alone, no, can't be doing it. So I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this because I'm like, it's kind of creepy. And there are a few things that have happened so far with like our main character and like who I assume is well, we know he's gonna be the love interest. But anyway, a few things have already happened where I'm like, I don't know if I like you. Like, I don't know, you are giving me, and you know, I think that's how we're supposed to feel because the main female character is also feeling that way. Like, she gets these sinister vibes from him, but also is very attracted to him, intrigued by him. So I can't put this down simply because I'm like, I need to know what happens. I need to know what the heck is going on here. I don't know. And also I will say the writing style at first was a little bit hard to get used to because it's very like staccato, because you are in the two different timelines that we're in is like 1955, and then I think the other one's like the 1700s. So obviously the way they talk is more formal. And so the writing style, I would say, reflects that. So it makes sense, but it took me a little while to get used to it because it's like very, like I said, staccato, blunt, more formal. But now that I'm into it, and again, I'm like reading it on my Kindle, so that's helping. I'm flying through it and I am finding myself like not being able to put it down, even though each chapter is like 20 minutes long or longer. And we know how most of us feel about short chapters. These are not short chapters. But yeah, I keep like, I'll be like, oh, one more chapter. Get to the end of it, I just end up starting another one. I can't put it down. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna end up feeling about this book. I've heard it's like crazy and that it goes in a direction that like no one really predicts. So I'm intrigued. We'll see where this goes. Obviously this might take me a little bit longer to read unless I keep flying through it, in which case I might get through it a lot quicker than I anticipated. Those are the updates. I have officially started Fairytale and I am a decent chunk in already. And then I just barely started the Grimoire Grammar School book. And that one, I don't know how much of that I'll read in this vlog. That one might have to like wait, especially if I stay hooked on this one. But that's the reading updates. I also wanted to show you guys I got new slippers. I'm obsessed with them. I got these from Bombas and I've always wanted these, but I didn't really need slippers last year. So I was like, I'll wait till next year. And then I kept being like, oh, do I really need slippers? And I was like, you know what? I've wanted them for so long. I'm going to try them out. And I can confirm these are so warm and cozy and comfortable. They literally do feel like walking on a cloud. Like, I don't know what cushioning they're using in here. It feels so nice and I'm obsessed with them. Let me see if I can show you them on. Hold on. Ta-da! I'm literally obsessed. They look and feel like cozy teddy bear shoes. I don't know. And they have like a nice solid sole on them and like bottom. I don't know. I'm obsessed. Hello. I just got back from a dentist appointment. Nothing, no worries. It was just a annual cleaning or whatever, routine cleaning. Everything looks great. But before we get into the reading updates, a fun package just came. I might have already shown my paperback version of Rising Rain. Anyway, that is the third and last book in the, I don't know if it's Crescent Creek or Crescent Kingdom, but the first book is called Crescent Kingdom by Tessa Hale. And my hardcover came today. I'm so happy to be opening this with you. The first thing I see, I did already like open it and like peek, but I haven't like opened it. The first thing I see is this fun little sticker that says Feral for the Wolves of Crescent Creek. Got my little thank you card here and an overlay. I love getting character art or like overlays. I don't think I've actually ever gotten an overlay. I think I got some overlay bookmarks that came with my special edition Throne of Glass set from Acrylopix, but otherwise I think this is like my only full size overlay. Very exciting. And then of course we have the book itself. Aha, that I can open with you guys. And these covers are so pretty, like the colors. Absolutely beautiful. I'm obsessed. And then of course there is like a quote on the back, but I just, again, love these covers and the purples. Purple's like my favorite color in the world. So I cannot wait to read this. This is signed by Tessa Hale. Cannot wait to read this one. I love her books, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, because they are so short and bingeable and just so easy to read. They are like perfect palette cleansers, perfect books for readathons, reading challenges, anything like that, because they are they feel satisfying and motivating because you're like, you know, going right through them. But yeah, I'm so excited to actually have like this character art because I feel like some of the guys I was picturing similarly to this, like Locke specifically, but like our female main character, Ren, I don't know if I did picture her like this. I don't know, but I'm liking it. So yeah, we're gonna place this right in here, so when we do read this, that'll be exciting. Big thank you to Tessa Hale, can't wait to read this. Wanted to share that with you guys real quick before we got into the reading updates. So I am still reading Fairytale, 57%, which is chapter 21. I left the actual paperback out in my living room, but if I were to hold it up, I'm like, I mean, obviously you'd see I'm halfway through, a little over halfway through, and all of the chapters are very long. I think the longest chapter I've had so far was 40 minutes, but like every chapter is at least 20 minutes long, which is longer chapters. However, I will say I am still flying through this. I am still very intrigued by this and still don't know really what's going on, and we're 57% in. I feel like this book is gaslighting me. Obviously we're seeing it through the main character's eyes. We're getting 3 different timelines of 3 different people. I feel like being in her eyes, because she's kind of being gaslighted and made to feel crazy, I feel crazy, and I still don't know what's going on in this book or what's going to happen. Still don't know how to feel about our main male character. I like him, I think. I don't know. I'm getting like, this book is like a train wreck you can't look away from. Not because I think it's a bad book, but like it's just very bingeable and you just want to know what the heck is happening. So I'm just like eating it up, right? However, some of the actual like more horror aspects of it, I guess, and some of the darker side to this book have left me a couple times being like, ew, ooey, I don't know how I feel about it. So we'll see how I feel by the end, but as of right now I do have kind of conflicting feelings, but the main positive feeling is that, again, I'm eating it right up, like it's bingeable. Even though it's very long and the chapters are long, I'm still somehow flying through it, and it probably does help that I'm reading it on my Kindle. So 57% through. My plan is to, oh, fingerprints on it once again. My plan is to go have some dinner here soon and then sit down and read. Maybe read out on the porch a little bit. I don't know yet. I'm definitely gonna read. I just don't know when or how much, because I also have been watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I haven't watched any of that today. My hobbies are always conflicting and vying for my attention, so we'll see what I end up doing. This is so good. Anyway, long time no reading update. I think it's been like a few days, a couple days maybe. I did get some B-roll yesterday where I showed that I went to Barnes and I did get a few books. As you saw, I got the new Barnes & Noble like special edition hardcover of Quicksilver. I couldn't resist. It's just so sleek looking, and I do want it to match Brimstone when that comes out because I have the indie paperback, which I also love. But again, Brimstone's not gonna come out indie like that, so they wouldn't have been matching anyway. Anyway, the 2 books that I went for New Release Tuesday were A Steeping of Blood by I don't know if I'm saying this right, Hafsa Faisal. I loved A Tempest of Tea, so I had to get the sequel to that. And then I also got Road Trip with a Vampire by Jenna Levine because I love that series. It's so adorable and like just the best, quickest rom-coms ever. So I did pick up, that's what I went there for. But I did end up picking up those 3. And then, yeah, let's get into the reading updates real quick. I would say yesterday I read a decent amount, and I guess today too, kind of, but it's just slow going because I am reading 2 books at the same time, and because Fairytale is absolutely massive. So let's start with this one, because again, I'm not very far into this one. I'm still only like 4 chapters in, but I am finding this to be cute, and the humor's really fun. I know that the back said it's like satire, or like Olivia Atwater in her blurb said that it is fantasy satire, and I really just love like the school vibes where it's like these moms getting together and discussing PTA and stuff like that and getting their kids ready for the first day of school, like going supplies shopping, and yet it's like magical, right? Like they're gonna go get magical supplies, but yet it's modern day, and there's all these different creatures like I mentioned. I don't really have anything else. I don't really have anything new since last time I talked to you guys, since again I've only read now a couple chapters more than from when I last talked to you, and that's because I'm trying to really like take my time with this one, means how it's a buddy read, and I want to be able to kind of discuss real time with my friend. So this one's kind of on the back burner, but like I'm reading like a couple chapters a day. And then Fairytale, I still don't really know how to feel about this. I am now, in the physical book, I am 600 pages in. So I really only have 100 or so pages left. I'm on chapter 28, which yeah, that means I've read a very, very good amount of this. A couple of times towards the middle, I was contemplating DNFing, but I do want to know what's going on. I just think that it's been a little bit dragged out, and I think that the writing style itself is a little bit hard to get used to because, like I said before, it's very staccato, it's very blunt, and again I think that kind of does work for like the time period it's in, but there are certain phrases that I've noticed just keep getting said over and over and over. Like when they go to ask a question, they'll ask the question and then they'll go, "Do you not?" Or like, "You're a witch, are you not?" And it's like, "Are you not?" is being added to the end of all these questions, and I don't know why, but like little things like that sometimes irk me. And so I have noticed that there are certain words and phrases being used kind of over and over. The writing style, I can get past it, again, because I do want to know what's going on, and I do think that this is very different from anything I've ever read. However, I will say it's not like my favorite writing style. I'm not like some people are absolutely obsessed with this and give it 5 stars. I don't think that's going to be me, but I can see why people like this, especially because it's so different from anything I've ever read. It's so like genre blending. I love that there's 3 different timelines and they're being interweaved, and we're learning more about these past characters. I'm finally starting to see some of the pieces come together. I'm starting to finally at this point be like on board with the main male character. Not that I wasn't in the beginning. He's always been morally gray, and I think both characters are actually pretty morally gray. And that doesn't deter me. Like if I go into a story knowing it's going to be more of like a dark romance, like that doesn't take away anything for me. But I am finally starting to get on board now that I'm seeing the origin, I guess. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of am understanding him a little bit better and therefore liking him a little bit better. So that's my feelings on the romance. There have been a couple spice scenes, one in particular, if you know, you know, that was like, don't know how I feel about that. But I will say their like passion for each other does make the spice obviously pretty good. But this, I wouldn't say this is like a spicy book or that it's all about spice. I would say there's a very, very good amount of plot. It's definitely more plot heavy, I guess you could say, world building rather than smut. So don't go into this thinking that it's just like pure smut. It's obviously not. There's like a lot going on. And even when there's not a lot going on, you're learning a lot about the past and this world and how these people came to be, yada, yada, yada. And I really don't know how to describe this book other than that. And I don't know if I ever really went into depth about like the plot of this, again, because I have been confused the entire time. Oh yeah, no, I did read most of the blurb on the back to you, the synopsis, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But I am excited to be done with this. I will tell you that. Like, I feel like I have been reading this for forever, which makes sense because it's a huge book. But again, I don't know. I just think that it's dragging on a little bit too long for me. Although the chapters I'm in right now, towards the end, I am like gobbling them right up. Like I'm getting through them fast. Like once I'm in the book and I'm focused, I can kind of fly through it. But there have been a couple times where I'm not reading, where I'm like, ooh, do I feel like picking this back up right now? So that's where I think having 2 books to go back and forth between is doing me well right now. I don't usually do that. But yeah, I would say the reading is going well. That's where we're at. I'm hoping to finish this hopefully by tonight, and then I'll probably end the vlog after this book because I've already been recording this vlog now for like going on 2 weeks. So yeah, that's the plan. I am about to go and walk with my bestie. I'm gonna drink my coffee. I'm gonna read probably until she gets here, and yeah, that is the plan for today. And I will be back once I have finally finished this book. my first thought is, what the heck did I just read? Like, this gets increasingly crazier as this goes on, especially in, like, I would say the last 10 or 15%. I thought I was finally starting to grasp where this was going, and I guess I kind of did. But also, what the heck? What the helly was this? I would love to know. Can't really say much, obviously, about the ending without giving anything away. Do I like how it ended? Yeah, I guess it does wrap up pretty well. And I do think it's really interesting how the author kind of wove those different timelines and characters and like really meshed the story together into one. I will stand by the fact though that I think this is too long, to the point where I started to feel that it was dragging a little bit in the middle. I would say the first half and also the last like 20% or so, there is a lot going on to keep you invested. And I also know that I mentioned that it's not like super spicy, but of course after I said that, it got like increasingly spicier, to the point where there were things happening that I could not have predicted. I liked it, you know, don't get me wrong, I thought it was good. I thought that their passion for each other was great, and the whole like I would burn down the world for you vibes were definitely there. I thought this as I was reading this, but you know, like when women ask, you know, their partners, like, if I was a worm, would you still love me? This man would still love her. Like, that was what was going through my mind. I was like, yup, she could literally be a bug and he would still be obsessed with her. So if you like an MMC where he's just absolutely obsessed with her, would burn the world down for her, would do anything for her, this is the one. A lot of crazy things going on in this. So I liked it, I guess. I think I would probably give it, as it stands right now, I'd probably give it like a 4-star, just because again, I don't think this was like absolutely amazing, the best thing I've ever read. The writing, as I've already mentioned, kind of irked me, and I do think it was a bit too long. So there's that. But it's also not a bad book. Like, I can see why some people think this is absolute genius, because it's completely different than anything I've ever read. It's very genre blending. There was paranormal and horror and historical, and I don't even know how to explain this. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I mean, check it out for yourself if you are intrigued by it, if you've read the synopsis and it sounds good to you, if any of what I've said sounds good to you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, try it out for yourself for sure. I don't not recommend it. Again, I just think it was way too long, in my opinion. So that's it. That's all we have on this. So what did we read in this vlog? Because I feel like I started this forever ago. I think we read Wild Card, right? What did we read after that? Another romance, didn't we? Wild Card. It's escaping me at the moment, but if you have been watching this, then you already know. I don't need to do the whole recap, do I, guys? You know what, it's my video, so I'm gonna say no, because like I said, I've already been recording this for weeks, so I have no idea how long this footage is at this point, but we are gonna end it here. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you have made it this far. I would love it if you could leave me a fairy, I guess, for Fairydale. Again, thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye.